Welcome to the Skate Like You Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, it's Mark, Skate Like You Podcast, skatelikeyou.com. I am here with Logan McRae, also known as King. How's it going, Logan?
Going good. How are you?
I'm great, man. Thanks for being on, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
So this is so interesting. Literally, like, this is like the most disingenuous part of like the podcast when I have to introduce you like we weren't just talking for the last 10 minutes. And the funny thing is I had asked Logan real quick right before we hit record, do you go by King or just Skate King? And he said, no, King. It's actually my middle name. And so my immediate reaction was like, oh, okay, so it's not nearly as arrogant as it might come across. But because I was thinking King, someone must have given you that. Turns out your parents did.
Yeah, I'm fourth generation middle name King.
Cool.
So,
all right, you got Kings in your family. Any other skaters in your family?
mom and dad skated growing up, but once I started skating, they distanced themselves. It wasn't cool for the parents to hang out at the skating rink.
Oh,
back then, so they kind of stepped away.
Were they still skating, and then like you basically said, "No, ma."
Yeah, pretty much. They still each have their own pair of skates. Mom probably would skate. Dad can't skate anymore.
Okay. So yeah, it's so interesting. It makes me think of like those times as a kid where like, I don't know, I'd see my mom dance or something like that, and it would be like the cringiest feeling ever. Do you know what I mean? Like when you're
yes
a kid,
and no.
When I was a kid, it was.
We grew up down here. Saturday was house cleaning day, so mom would turn on the blues you can use with CC. And we had blues in the house, so she was always dancing. So I've always luckily been blessed with rhythm.
Okay, all right, yeah. I mean, indoor, like, in the house, no big deal. My mom would like just start doing like just breaking it down in the middle of like a shop and save. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah.
it's just like a 12-year-old kid not feeling that at all. You know, but no one. My parents never skated. My older sister, my sister's middle. I'm the youngest. And my brother's the oldest. They both skated. But do you have any siblings?
I have one biological sister.
Okay, did she skate?
She does skate. She's actually she has my very first pair of ride-els I ever bought in my life. She has still to this day.
Okay, does she go to the events and stuff? Have I ever met her?
She does not. Oh. She's local. She's local here. She don't get to travel much.
Okay.
With having 3 youngins.
Okay. All right. So, I'm sorry. What?
She skates local. No, she skates local when she can.
Cool. All right. Well, the question I ask every single person, I'm sure you've probably heard it before. Do you remember the first time you put on skates?
Not necessarily the first time.
Okay.
But we went. It was a birthday party. I was invited to the skate rink, and probably 5 or 6 years old, and I was hooked.
Oh, right from the gate.
Oh yeah, I loved it.
No kidding. Okay, so 5, 6. So I mean, are you like then going on the regular after that? Like, is that like?
Oh yeah, they took me just about every weekend.
No kidding.
We go up there usually Saturday sessions, skate growing up, and then as I got older, they would drop us off for Friday and Saturday night sessions. My first job was at the rink here.
Nice.
So
no. When you say the rink here, what rink are you talking about specifically?
Panama City. It's now Skater's Choice Panama City.
Okay.
But when I was skating, it was Silver Circle East.
Okay. So, but you from the first time you ever skated to now, that's still your home rink?
Still my home rink.
Wow, man, that's awesome. That's so cool.
There's a lot of history.
Yeah.
We actually had a really bad hurricane come through 2018, and the rink got messed up. And I got in touch with Bobby. And I was able to go in and help kind of clean the rink up and get it back up and running.
Wow.
So from first job to the hurricane to getting it back up and running, kind of a little proud me moment.
Yeah. So I'm kind of going to assume it sounds like you kind of had the same type of experience that I did. I mean, I came up in a rink that my sister skated, you know, like it basically was almost like especially because I was skating really, really young too. I was just talking to somebody and I remember like out of the blue, I kind of remembered the first time, or at least it's the first time I remember like, you know, the day of a session when you're a kid and you're just, all you can do is think about it that night. You know what I mean? But like, I remember like in first grade, like Wednesdays, cause it was like a 6:30 to 8:30. And I just remember it's the earliest memory I have of like having that feeling of like sitting in class and being like, ooh, skating tonight. Right. But like, it's kind of, I wonder if you had the same experience as me. Cause like that rink, when I got in there so young and was there, you know, all the way up through high school, the people like the Dyers that owned it, they basically like were family. You know what I mean? Was that kind of like the same experience for you?
Yes and no. Ron, the gentleman that owned it first, Ron Starrett, he passed away. But it was tough love with him. It was tough love.
Yeah.
He either really liked you or he really didn't. So, but he got me in. I worked under the table starting at 14 up there. And so it got to where if I got in trouble at home, like, oh, you're not allowed to skate unless you're working. So I was like, oh, I'm working.
Yeah.
So I tell him I'm working just so I can go up there and skate.
So what distinguished being some, like if your kid that this guy either liked or didn't like, what distinguished that?
Just your work ethic. You wanted to be there. You're always helping out. And he's one of he was one of the old heads. Mm-hmm. So he was old fashioned about it. So you either had to do it his way or not at all.
Yeah. So Bob Dyer was the guy that owned our rink. His dad, Sid, he was there. Now Sid was much older. I always tell people, like, when I mention Sid, I'm like, you know, with a name like Sid, whatever you're picturing, you know, as far as you're probably right. You know what I mean? Like, and he was this big dude. Like he was the kind of dude that always had like one of those pocket tees, and he always wore suspenders over them no matter what. Right.
Okay.
But he would just sit there, man. And all he'd have to do was like give a look, you know, and he didn't really say much. But Bob, he was definitely the same kind of cat. Like, I mean, yeah, he either had like, cause the other thing was Bob probably could have been like an FBI criminal profiler. You know what I mean? Because it's like he could peg you right from the gate. As soon as you walked in the door, like he's like, "Oh, I'm watching that dude right there," you know. Mm-hmm. But I used to hear things like he like just walked down all the way from one end, like where the counter was in his office, all the way to the other end of the rink where the DJ booth is, and I wouldn't even see him, but all of a sudden he'd grab the mic from the DJ and he'd be like, "Marky, bench." You know what I mean? And that would mean I was just skating too fast or something like that. But yeah. Did you guys get benched? We got benched.
We didn't get benched. He had a very dry sense of humor. So he'd be in the booth watching the floor, and somebody would fall, and he'd snatch the mic and be like, "Come here, I'll help you up."
He's all the way across.
Yeah. Like it's not funny, but if you think it's funny, then go you.
Yeah. I think it's kind of funny.
So, but yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
It's funny now. Oh, of course. Growing up, it wasn't quite funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can imagine myself getting all pissed about that. Oh man.
Kind of old school enough that he had a leather couch in the office. He'd smoke all through the skating rink when he walked around. Like, he was one of those guys.
Yeah, man. So Bob was a big dude. But you know, he was round kind of guy, but every single part of him was like a rock, you know? And it was like a phenomenon when you saw him actually put his skates on. It was very rare. And if you did, you know, it was just really cool. It was like a special moment. And I remember like bumping into this guy when I was like 15, you know, and he's not on his stops. He's not in a T-stop position. He is just standing, you know, feet straight and bumping into this guy, and he doesn't move. You know what I mean? You just bounce off him, you know? So like if there was that, all you had to do was just stand there. His presence was enough. You know what I mean? But underneath all that, man, he was the sweetest guy, you know? So took good care of us. So, okay, you worked there. You started, they gave you a job, 14. How long did you work there? And what'd you do most of the time?
I was floor guard and skate maintenance.
Skate maintenance. Okay. And you worked through high school or?
Yeah. I worked up to a point and ended up leaving for another job, and it didn't turn out. So I ended up back at the rink, and then worked through most of high school.
Okay. All right. So what's the, okay. So in your like kind of prime time heyday, right. As a teenager, like at your rink, what's the scene like? What's the music? What's happening at your rink?
The music was always on point back then. Normal session music, they would do like a boys only skate, a girls only skate. Then they would do an all shuffle skate.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was always cool because we'd finally get some of the younger inexperienced out of the way. We could actually jam a little bit.
Yep. Yeah.
So that was real nice. They do late skates. They wouldn't do an all night skate at our rink. His brother actually owned the rink across town. It was two brothers that owned the two rinks.
Okay.
And he would do a late skate, and the brother would do an all night skate. So we would get off work and go to the other rink to skate for the rest of the time, just because we wanted to skate. We'd take off our work shirts, we'd cover our names, and
nice. All right. So now interesting. I was just talking to Madison about this. I've had this discussion with a few, or at least talked about this with a few people, where because I skated, all the way from basically elementary age through high school, and I had like a skate social life, and then I had like a school social life, and they really didn't cross over much. Mainly, most of the people that I skated with, it was like, it was just everyone, like every age, like, so I think there was like maybe 2 years when I was in high school that a couple people ended up like they were maybe two people that skated at my rink were freshmen when I was a junior, they were freshmen. But other than that, I had like kind of two different social lives. Was it that way for you? Or did people skate
pretty much?
Cool? Okay.
It was separate to a point. Younger, it was all pretty much the same. That's what everyone did on the weekends. We went skating.
Okay.
There was so school. We were close enough we could walk to school if we wanted to, and sometimes the school would do field trips to the rink.
Yeah.
And the school was close enough that they would just pack teachers and chaperones, and we would walk from school to the rink.
Right. Yeah. And that was your day. That was your day, right? That's like
yeah. One of the only few that had my own skates. I had laces tied together and throw it over my shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So we had a couple. I think I had like one or two field trips like with the school. I know that at one point Bob had come to my elementary school with a bunch of rental skates to our PE class, and but that day I brought my own skates. And like, thought I was all cool because I knew Bob and all that kind of stuff, But our day camp, I used to go to a day camp in the summertime. And there was like at least 3 or 4 trips to the rink. Like, and this is like, yeah, it's early. It's like 1990, But yeah, those days, man, I felt like the man. It was like my day to shine,
Oh, yeah.
Because nobody, most kids, I mean, it's funny. I think skating's like one of the only things where like, you talk to somebody and I don't know, maybe for whatever reason, skating comes up or something like that. And they're like, yeah, I used to skate. Right. And really when that translated, that means like they maybe went to a couple birthday parties when they were kids. And it's like the only thing that people will kind of like say like, oh, I used to do that, when they really didn't really do that. Does that make sense to you?
Right. Yeah.
But I think it's cool in the sense that I there's not many people I can think of that don't have a memory or some type of connection to skating. You know what I mean?
It was big here. Like I said, between the two rinks, it was Silver Circle East and Silver Circle West growing up. So it was always East versus West. So we had the East kids and the West kids.
Was there?
So anytime we got around each other, it was always a little friendly competition between the two.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. So there was kind of like a rivalry kind of thing, or yeah. Like, what did that like? You guys jam skate that, or like?
Not so much jam skate at first. We actually had West, the brother, had Team Rydell came to his rink back when they were jam skating. So if you paid the Saturday day session, you could stay afterwards to watch the Team Rydell demo, and they would teach you a little bit of jam skating. if you stayed for that, you got to skate the Saturday night session for free.
No kidding. Do you know any of the names for skaters that were on Team Rydell at that point? Anybody?
I don't.
No?
There was 5 or 6 of them that came in,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't recall off the top of my head.
Okay, yeah. No.
But that's taught us some of the toe jamming, some of the little tricks, and
Nice.
so that was our big introduction into it.
Nice. So for you, was there any ever competition aspect, speed skating, shuffle skate, anything like that?
Nothing major.
Okay.
The never our rink, but the other rink, they would do on like the all night skates. They would do like a midnight shuffle showdown kind of thing.
Okay.
If you wanted to enter, and it ended up being like a $50 or $60 cash prize at the end.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. So was there a point where, so you said like when you were coming up though, those rinks were big. It was, really kind of the thing to do for people in town, for kids. Has it always stayed that way? Have those rinks always stayed that busy, or is it kind of?
Unfortunately, the rink across town, the other rink, the brothers rink, closed down. There were some family issues, and I believe one of the wives got sick, so he ended up closing the rink down to take care of his wife.
Okay. And
then our rink eventually, Mr. Ron passed away, and that's when Bobby Bentley bought it out.
Okay. Okay. And so,
but it's always been big for the younger generation. There's not so much an adult skating presence here like there is in other places.
Really? Okay. Yeah. That's surprising, especially down there. But I mean, you're a big state, so like,
yes.
So okay, so now besides that rink, what are there other rinks that you frequent throughout the course of a week or anything like that?
Unfortunately, I don't get to skate as much as I would love to.
Okay.
Due to my work schedule. Dothan, Alabama, for their rink, it's about an hour and a half drive to them. Mm-hmm. Fort Walton has a rink. It's kind of a small rink, but the music is always on point.
Nice.
So I try to get off work and cruise over there when I can.
Yeah.
It's hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on traffic. The other Skater's Choice, Dreamland, is 2.5 hours, also depending on traffic.
Okay.
We have a select few rinks we try to hit as often as we can.
Gotcha. So, so you skate and worked that rink up through high school and stuff like that. Was there ever a point for you where you kind of like completely stepped away from skating at all, or? Not
completely.
Okay.
When I took that break in between the 2 skate jobs,
mm-hmm.
I wasn't as present at the rink as I previously was. Mm-hmm. But it ended up not working out very well.
Okay.
So I was back to the rink as quick as I could. So that's about the only time. High school, it wasn't quite as cool for the high school kids to come skate.
Yeah.
So I'd skate when I could, but I would always try to be Mr. Popular. So I was hanging out with the cool kids when I could, and when there was nothing to do, I was at the rink. But I never completely stopped skating.
Man, my dad used to say to me, because when you're a kid, all you care about is what other kids think. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I used to, because the same thing. I try and I tell people this, because especially if you grew up in New England, you're talking about this is a hockey area, and anytime that you have a concentration of ice sports, especially, I think that quads. I mean, no matter what, it seems like quads are like the redheaded stepchild of like skating. Mm-hmm. And there's like a stigma, especially if you're a guy, right? It's just not the cool thing to do. And I used to I remember my dad saying, my dad didn't care about skating at all. He never skated, never wanted to skate, whatever, but he knew what it meant to me. And he could tell too. There was a time where he kind of picked up on the fact that not that, I would still go, but it was like, I wouldn't talk about it. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't say I was hiding it, but it was like, it just wasn't the cool thing. Right.
Right.
And I remember he said to me one time, he's like, the definition of cool, right? And I was like, what's that? He goes, not so effing hot, and I was like, all right, well, but I'll never forget that, man. So, okay. So you're skating like now, but you have maintained this passion and skating until from then to now with no stop.
It was no stop, no real stop. That was the cool thing to do. There was a small group of us local. As soon as we got our driver's license, we found out about Pensacola. We found out about there's a skate world in Tallahassee, which is about 2 hours from here.
Yep.
And it was always spur of the moment. None of us had cars. We just wake up. We're eating breakfast on Saturday, and one of us is usually, hey, skate in Tallahassee tonight. Like, I'm in.
Let's go. Tell
your mom. Nobody had cell phones. Like, hey, we're going to Tallahassee to skate tonight. We'll be home as soon as we can. Yeah. Or we're going to skate Pensacola. Four of us would load up, and usually one of our mom's cars, and we'd strike out.
So it's interesting because you kind of have a unique experience where at some point myself and most of the people I talk to on here, at least, at some point they stepped away and a lot of them for years at a time, Mm-hmm. So the interesting thing when I talk to somebody that wasn't their experience, all I can still think of is all these people that I know. It seems like the majority did step away. So you must have seen that from the other end, right? Like all the people kind of like that you would skate with kind of disappear. You know what I mean? Was that like a trend or a thing that kind of you watched happen at a certain point? Was it more relevant or?
Yeah, they all stepped away. There was a point. It was all of us got married at one point. Yeah. So like my buddy got married, I got married, my buddy got married. So we all kind of stepped. Like, hey, I'm skating tonight. Like, hey, I can't.
Right.
Wife says no. So we always try to make up. Like, hey, you got plans? Like, no. Like, all right, cool. We're gonna try to skate this weekend, and try to skate as much as we could in between that.
So when does at least where does it start? When does the 850, at least like kind of that immediate crew that you skate with on the regular? When does that kind of start to take shape, or when did that happen?
It started, the four main was me, Rachel, Dusty, and Herbie.
Okay.
We were the four initial ones. Traveling before, we didn't really have a name. We were the younger us. We were cocky.
Okay.
So we had a group, but luckily there was no cameras and the internet wasn't a thing back then.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, we were the Panama City. We were the gods of quads, is what we called it back then.
That's awesome.
But luckily that is no more. We're humble. So the four of us started 850 Skate Crew. We wanted something because we had friends from all over.
Yeah.
That skated, and we didn't want to be like the Panama City Skate Crew. So 850 reaches from Pensacola, all the way to Tallahassee, I believe. So basically the Florida Panhandle.
Yeah.
So trying to keep it inclusive to anyone that's around. If we can all come together, we can all be the crew.
Right. So was the God Squad more about like you had to be able to skate at a certain level to be a part of that?
Yeah, we were young and cocky.
Of course, yeah.
I think everyone had their own set of 395s. During that point, we went to visit family in Tennessee, and me and my sister were the only ones that had our own skates. And my 395s at the time, it was the white 395s with the shooting star on the side.
Okay.
And the rink we went to, the floor guards were on rental skates, and they clowned me so hard for having white skates. Like, oh, those are girl skates. Yep. Those are girl skates. I'm like, man, they're not.
Yeah.
And I would love to prove you wrong.
Yeah. It's funny is that so like now when I came up, now here's the thing though, in my rink nobody had speed boots or jam boots or anything like that. That did not happen. We all had like a high boot heel, you know what I mean? And girls had like, now in that style it very much felt like there was like a girl's boot that was white and the guy's boot that was black. But when I came back and I saw like people on like the white speed boots and stuff like that, I never looked at it like, no, it looks for whatever reason, maybe I just associate it because of how I grew up. I think it looks more like that on a high boot, but I don't think it does on a speed boot at all.
No, I think this lower speed boot, I thought it looked clean.
Yeah.
It was a crisp look. It was it was different. It stood out.
Are you one for like aesthetics as far as your skates go? You like them looking
Oh
good?
yeah.
Man, people bust my balls about that. Like, oh, who cares?
Oh no.
No, yeah. So you like that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like those pride and joy. Now those are my prized possessions.
Okay.
So those are fresh. I got those in January. Right. I skated up in Texas. The boots got sent to me. Andy McFarland from Miami Roller Rink helped me out with the boot. That's Nathan got me the plate. So we put them together in Texas, and I skated them for the event in Texas. I skated my trucks really loose, like almost so you could flop them and see the trucks wiggle.
Yeah. Can you hold one of those up for us?
Absolutely.
Tell everybody what we're looking at here.
Rydell 395, USA Shooting Star, the Rydell logo. We got Nathan's custom aluminum laser plate,
Wait.
Diabolics. That's Nathan. Yep.
And it's black.
I don't like plain. I don't like cookie cutter.
Yeah.
So I bought the wheels plain from Will at Diabolics.
Okay.
And he shipped them to Nathan. And when Nathan got the plate done for me, I was like, "Hey, do you know anyone that does anodizing?" He said, "We could try to figure it out." So instead of having it polished like everybody else, we sent the hubs and the plate to have it anodized.
Damn, dude. And
so
wait, now the truck's on there. What?
The truck's single action.
Okay.
It's got the Ron Murray cushions.
Yep. What hardness does he give you when he makes them? Do you know?
I wish I knew.
Okay.
I was a little worried at first because I've always skated lasers, and laser keeps me able to keep it the looseness.
Yeah.
And I was worried because I saw Nathan had just that nylock on the top. I was like, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I guarantee. He said you'll be able to get what you want out of these.
Yeah, man.
I trust you. Let's do it.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So I went to Ron too. Cause like for whatever, I don't know why, I don't know what I was thinking, but even when I first started skating again, the first setup I got was a 45, I have never done anything different my entire life. And then I'm like, I don't know why, but I went to like this, I went to a 10 degree on a reactor. And I like a lot of action. Well, that's kind of stupid if you're going to get a 10 degree, but so I had to keep them loose. But the problem is I'd keep them loose and then I'd just chew through those cushions. So I had to go to Ron and like basically just like make this hard ass cushion just so I could keep, it was destined to not work. You know what I mean? The way I needed it to. I'll tell you what, man, I got bless you. I got those. I got those Arius. I love them. I know some people hate them. I love them.
I've got a few friends that skate them and they swear by them. But
it's all preference, man.
I stuck with what I knew.
Yeah. That is sick though, dude. Cause I thought when you held that up and I'm looking at that, I thought that was, I didn't think that I wouldn't have thought just with the camera, like it'll in the finished product, you'll be able to see it better, but it looked like just one of those blue nylons. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh my God. And then you said, oh, that's so sick, dude.
It is. And it's little things like, I used to detail. So attention to detail is my
okay.
So like, I even went through like the bottom of those. Like I painted the bottoms red just for, it keeps it off that plain leather look. Yeah. It goes with the color scheme I got. Yeah. So those.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I painted the bottoms red on those too. So that.
But that's a suede boot, right? I can't tell just because of the.
Yes,
yeah,
it's a suede boot.
Yeah.
My first suede boot, I was nervous because with the regular leather boots, if you fall, I can touch up leather paint.
Right.
With these, I wasn't sure how they were going to hold up if I fell. I got one scuff on these poor things. So I'm gonna see if I can clean that off.
So
hopefully, this weekend.
So that's the first thing that comes to my mind, though. Is for with someone that type of attention to detail that you have and that's a gorgeous setup.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are you like conscious of that? Can you like kind of put that out of your mind and just go and just skate, or are you kind of conscious of that at all times?
I'm very conscious. Everything has to match.
No, I mean while you're skating though, like, are you conscious of like protecting them, not scuffing them?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
So that actually happened. Billy Cowart saved me. That's the whole reason I got that scuff. We were in Dothan, and we had a gentleman come from the inside to the outside and clip me. And if Billy wasn't behind me, I would have went down.
Wow.
Billy got those long arms and was able to catch me and held me until we were able to slow down enough so I could stand up.
And Billy's not usually behind anybody.
No,
you know.
I was honored. Not very many people skate in front of Billy.
Yeah, man.
So
I had such a good time skating with that dude in Georgia. Oh man.
Oh, he's a blast.
Oh, dude. There's a couple people that I love skate like, and it's not to say I don't like skating with other people. It's just, it's just kind of, and to be honest with you, I have these kind of experiences on limited basis, like just but I've always had an amazing time skating with Nathan Edwards wherever we go.
Oh yeah.
Billy, I had a blast skating with him. There's this guy, Evan Runfola, that I would jump in like at Roller Jam because it would just be, you're not riding the wall. You are like, and you can only really skate with 2 or 3 people because what you're weaving out of this craziness, but the goal is just like, don't fall behind, right? Like dodge everything that guy's dodging and keep up. And it's just so much fun. And there's certain people you can kind of mesh with and do that with, probably your instincts are kind of the same and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But Billy's definitely one of those dudes. I mean, I had such a good time skating with him in Georgia.
Yeah.
So what's that?
I was like, me and Billy had a hard start to begin with.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yes.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it. Atlanta was my very first event 3 years ago.
Okay.
And this was either beginning of Tammy, maybe, or right before Tammy. He was a little rough around the edges.
Yeah.
And it was busy. I've never skated in a rink like this, especially for an event. So I stayed about middle rink. I didn't want to step on no one's toes, And, so, you check behind you, make sure no one's coming. You go around some of the people that are kind of just standing there talking.
Yeah.
And I just he was in my blind spot, and I missed him. And I got to get out of the way, and not so nice words. So I responded not so nicely.
Right.
And it ended up with an invitation to the parking lot.
No kidding.
And now, Billy, I would throw down for Billy if I had to. Billy's my buddy. If he's watching, he's my pudding.
Yeah,
that's what
yeah, happy birthday, Billy.
Happy birthday, Billy.
Yeah, shout out Billy Cowart, man. So wait a minute. I'm gonna maybe I'll press it too much, but like, okay, you stopped an invitation to the parking lot. Is that where it stops, or is that
that's where it stops? We're both cooler heads prevailed.
You guys have friends come and like kind of
yeah.
Okay.
So it ended up the adults talking, and we were able to squash it there.
Oh, right there.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
So
that's cool.
But going from that to where we are now, I would have never thought.
Of course. Yeah.
Where it would be.
Well, and it's funny because I had him on, and and he's telling me about the reputation that he had, and he's very we're not saying anything that he doesn't say himself, and it was just for me. I was saying to him like, I don't know that guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that guy at all. And and what's funny too is that based on like what I know of Billy and the conversation that we had and the reputation that he had, I would bet even in your situation, like he actually still was probably toned down because the guy that I think that he describes like years ago, there is no compromise, there is no talking. You know what I mean? Like,
right?
He was. I said, Billy, what would be like? What would set you off? He was looking at me.
looking at it wrong. Yeah.
I was like, what, dude? Like, but man, I mean, that's cool, man. That's awesome. It's funny though. Yeah, I was like, I don't know that dude. I don't know that guy. Yeah.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he's where he's at. He's a good friend of mine.
Oh man, yeah. I enjoy that dude a lot. And I tell you what, and he was real and he was honest on here, man. You know, yeah, I appreciate him a ton.
And I don't know if you've seen Halloween here. We did a Halloween skate, and I had a cool costume picked out. I was going to skate in, and he posted on my Facebook page. He's like, "Oh, what are you going to be?" And just slick comment me. I was like, "Oh, I'm going to be you." I was like, "All right, well now I need to make this happen." So Rachel made me a Misfit shirt, said Billy on the back. I went and got me a wig. I dyed my beard, and I was Billy for Halloween.
Oh my god!
We got a picture of the two of us together.
What does he say when he sees you?
Oh man, Billy used to have a Corvette. I have a Corvette now.
Okay.
So I made sure I parked right by the front, and when him and Tammy pulled up, I made sure I stood up real fast. He said, "I hate you." That's the first words out of his mouth. But we got pictures. It was a good time. Doubled down on the costume. He took his costume off, and I put his costume on. So I was a costume in a costume. So it was a good time. I'm glad he's a good sport.
Oh man, yeah, he definitely is now, man. Yeah, he's so okay. So I haven't had any of the 850 since on the pod since Georgia. So is it? I don't know if this is inside baseball or inside secret or whatever, but are you allowed or willing to tell people the origin behind the spicy wiener?
Oh, it was just there was we just had a few drinks. That's all it was.
Yeah,
and we thought it would be funny. We just Shane Moat chit chat.
Mm-hmm.
He's a blue collar guy also, and a lot of times just whatever you can throw in your lunchbox to make it through the day.
Yeah.
And we were at the dollar store buying snacks for work.
Okay.
And he found the yellow one, which is like the normal one. But if you find, they're color coded. But if you find an orange one, the orange ones are supposed to be really spicy. So I told him about it, and so we happened to find them right at the register. So he's like, "Well, we'll eat the yellow one first, and then we'll graduate to the hot one." And we just happened to have one in the car when we got there. So like, all right, well let's play a game. Okay. And it turned into that.
But it wasn't it like, didn't like someone throw it from one vehicle to another or something like that?
Oh, that was me.
Okay.
That was me. We were on the way to Atlanta, and Brian Mills was in the car next to us.
Okay.
And he had pulled his phone up and rolled his window down. So I was waving at him. We were talking back and forth. And I saw it. I was like, well, I hadn't ate it yet. So let's window and out of our car into his car. And the light turned green and we left.
Oh, okay. So you were at a stop when you threw it?
Yeah, we were at a red light.
Okay.
I believe right outside of Dothan or in Dothan.
In my mind, I don't know why, I'm picturing you guys doing like 70 down a highway and you making some clean shot from one lane to the next.
That would have been better. And I believe I was riding with Rachel, so we probably were doing every bit of that speed limit.
So, okay, now that you've explained this, let's give people a little context. So for those of you guys that don't know what the hell we're talking about right now, the 850 show up in Atlanta with a spicy wiener. It's like this red
the Tijuana Mamas.
Oh, Tijuana Mamas. Okay. And it's just this plastic wrapped. So it's like packaged like a Slim Jim.
Pickled sausage.
Yeah, but it's packaged like a Slim Jim, but it's like a hot dog, like,
right.
You know. And the goal was essentially is that you had to trick someone into taking the wiener from you, and that you would basically have to then, it would be on you to hand it off to somebody else unknowingly.
You didn't want it. You had to get rid of it as quick as possible.
Right. I tell you what, was it Kayla that gave it to Jamie?
Maybe.
Did you see that when she slipped it in his sweatshirt pocket?
I did not see that.
It was one of the most impressive things, because he's just sitting there, man, right? Like on a stool or something. He's kind of sitting up, and she went over, gave him a hug. I think it was Kayla. And and I watched, man, and she just slipped it in the front pocket of the sweatshirt. And now everybody's watching this unfold, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, she walked away. He kind of saw everybody kind of reacting, not really sure what's going on. And then he
trying to figure it out.
He kind of I guess he kind of felt, he put his hand in his pocket. He just pulled it. You just saw it had it being, you know what I mean? Like the whole thing kind of unfolding in his brain. It was smooth. I was most proud to give it to Billy Coward.
Man, I think Billy had it more than most of us.
Really?
Because if I couldn't hand it off, I would just put it in Billy's bag. I dropped it in a shoe one time. So I think poor Billy was handed that spicy wiener more than he cared to admit.
So now this was the first time you guys had ever done that at an event?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It started on the drive, and we thought it'd be funny. We got to the house in Atlanta. Everyone had a few drinks, relaxing, skate holiday weekend.
Yeah.
And we're like, you know what? It'd be funny. The only rule was you can't do it on the skate floor. We didn't want it dropped or swatted.
Yes. Yeah.
And it causing a hazard. No skate floor spicy wieners.
Yeah. Yeah, not there. Jeez.
No. Everything else, fair game. We should have had it to where you take a picture with it so we could track it, who all had it. But maybe next time.
I swear. So I was crashing at Rob McGarrigle's house. And I started thinking to myself, I got up that morning and I'm like, because I think it was the Saturday Saturday morning. And I'm like, Rob, is there a decent grocery store around here, that with real deal deli meats? And he's like, why? He's like, yeah, why? I was like, because I think I'm gonna go get one of those, just those huge ones.
The logs.
And just write 850 skate crew on it. You know what I mean? And just bring it. But I was like, no,
that would have been epic.
Yeah, but
you would have won. There was no question.
Yeah, but I was like, no, that's just too much. It was too much. Not to mention those things are how much, you know what I mean? You can drop $50-$60 on one of those things.
Yeah.
So but man, yeah, that was hilarious, dude. I was not ready for that at all. So
it was fun.
Yeah. So the tornado came through there too that weekend. Now is that something you're kind of accustomed to?
Tornadoes, no, not so much tornadoes. Hurricanes, yes. Tornadoes, not so much.
Okay. Yeah.
But cool heads prevail. I had just ordered some food because I've been skating. I was hungry, and I was walking back to the table when the lights went out to the first time. I was like, well, this is different.
Yeah.
And she'll probably kill me for this. Rachel came over. She's like, we need to hunker down. We need to barricade the play place. We need to hunker down. I'm like, I just got food. I'm fixing to sit here at this table and eat this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what about the wind? You could hear the wind, right? I'm like, no. That's the air conditioners. There's no music. You can actually hear the air conditioners. Just calm down, have a seat, eat some of these pretzels. Everything will be fine. And then we got home and we were talking, I believe it was to my mom on the phone. Hey, we're on the way home. How was it? And she was like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, yeah, the tornado was close. You could hear it on the wall. And she slug bugged me. She's like, that was the tornado. You said it was the air conditioner.
Yeah.
It worked, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I didn't hear a thing, obviously, till the power goes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had no idea anything was going on. Matter of fact, the night before I was talking to Brandon Nix, and the thing was he was only staying for Friday night because this tornado was supposed to touch down where he was at, where he lives in Alabama. So he was going home. He had already prepped a bunch of stuff already, but he was going to be back there with his wife for when that happened. So, I knew that it was going to be storming or raining that night, but like, I really didn't pay attention. I had no idea until, the lights went out. And they said that. Now, I've never been through anything like that. Never been through a hurricane, never been through a tornado. I dealt with snow. I grew up in New England. You know what I mean? That was it, right? So, there was a moment, though, where I was like, oh, shit. Like, this is like... And they said it was 2 of them. And they touched down, like, within, like, a mile of that place.
Oh, yeah, within a mile. That's why everyone's like, oh, we're under the play place. Like, we've been skating for hours. There's a bunch of sweaty folks sitting on... Like, I will sit at this table and take my chances.
Yeah, that thing is like a plastic jungle gym. Like, what? I didn't get that at all. But
I'm assuming it was probably secured to the floor somehow, but I don't know.
The floor is secured to the floor. You know what I mean? So, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Like I said, I've never been through anything like that at all. At least there was only like 30, 45 minutes left of the session anyway. You know what I mean? It didn't kill the night at all. No,
Shane and Kayla were with us at our house in Atlanta, and they had actually left Saturday day to go home because they're from Alabama.
Okay,
and they went home to get their kids, and his mother, and that brought them all back to the house. Like, we messaged the Airbnb host, like, look, we're not trying to overload the limit of the house, but like, this is what's going on. Like, we'll pay extra if we need to for the extra. Just for the night.
Right.
And they were real like, no, don't worry about it. Like, just come on in as long as everyone's safe. So they brought the kids back, and we made a family thing of it.
Nice. Now, so getting back to like 850 stuff and the crew and you and the skate thing, like because you and Rachel skated together and knew each other previously to like this time that you're skating together now. Is that right?
Oh yeah. I met her in Tallahassee. She was skating. I don't know if she lived there, but she was there one of the nights that we were there.
Okay.
And Dusty, tutor, introduced us. Like, oh, this is Rachel, and she can skate. So I was like, all right, well, hell, come skate with us.
Yeah. How long ago was that?
That was probably 10, 12 years ago.
Okay, yeah. And but she had she stepped away for a while.
She did.
Yeah.
But she's back, and most times she can outskate us.
So are you guys in kind of in communication through that time, like while she's away, or is it, I mean?
Not so much. We weren't very close.
Okay.
Back then, it was mainly me and Dusty.
Yeah.
Back then, but she would come skate here with us. And any chance we could, we would all try to get together as much as possible.
Yeah.
But after we kind of figured out, like, all right, we kind of need a name for this. We put it out there. None of us really we don't want the fame. We just put skating out there and get people interested back in skating.
Yeah. Is
what we're kind of trying to do. So we settled on 850, and the rest is kind of just skate history. We skated as much as can, travel when we can. Like I said, the adult skating here isn't quite what it is in other places, unfortunately. So the only time we really do get to skate is if we go to an event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
well, and you guys kind of being there and like for when she came back around, I mean, I know from talking with her, it was a big thing for her. I mean, she needed to get back there. It's like I think to quote her, I think she said it's literally like her therapy, in a lot of
happy
ways.
Place.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, yeah, man, that's cool. So when do you guys like, when's like the first time like the 850 goes to like an event together?
It was a small event. It was me, Rachel, and Herbie in Atlanta for the USA Shuffle Skate.
Okay.
2022, 2023, somewhere like that.
Okay.
It was the three of us. We drove up. We stayed in a hotel for the three of us for the weekend. And that was our first one. We're like, well, this is kind of cool. Like, all adults, there's no kids. Like, I could do this more often.
Yeah.
So we started meeting folks. Rachel, she is the talker.
Right.
She will, unless I know you, I'm not very social. And it's not. I'm not mean.
Right.
I'm shy.
Yep.
So I was introduced to a lot of people, and so that's kind of started it.
She's like the outreach. She's like the PR of the 850.
Yes,
You know?
very much so. Very much so.
Because I'm the same way, dude. And people assume because I do this that like that I'm not, right? But like in person, like I always say, if we're breathing the same air kind of thing, and I don't know, one is I feel like I worry that I'm awkward, which makes me awkward. Right. So like, I just, yeah, like, and so I'm not, yeah, it's, but it makes it tough for me. Cause like I said, people automatically assume that like, I'm going to be outgoing and all this kind of stuff because of doing this. And it's so different. It's not like that at all, you know,
not at all,
you know, and yeah, but I mean, especially when I first came around, man, when I first came around to like the event scene, dude, and here's what's funny. Cause I talked to you, right. And you say, yeah, first event was like 2022. And I talked to all these people that when I got into this thing and I go to the event and I see someone like you, I see this person, that person, whatever, all these recognizable faces that we see, you know, online sometimes and all that kind of stuff, whether I recognize them or not, just watching people interact, I just assumed that everybody had been doing this for years. You know what I mean? Like everyone has been a part of this club forever. And like, I'm not a part of it kind of thing. And it's crazy because once I really started talking to people, especially doing this, talking to people that I couldn't normally talk to on a regular basis from all over the country, so many of them were like, yeah, no, I started about that same time, or I started about a year or two before that, or I started like last year. I'm like, what? You know, does that make any sense to you?
Oh, it makes a lot of sense. Like a lot of the events, because there's not very many people in Panama that actually like travel skate.
Yeah.
Me, Rachel, Brian, Yari, and that's about it. So if there's an event that we want to go to, most of the time it was just me and Rachel, or me, Rachel, and Brian. So we'd reach out to skate family we've met. Like, hey, we're thinking about going to this event. Do y'all want to share a house with us?
Yeah.
And Rachel, skate wife, she bless her heart, she did everything. So we'd find a house. So we Philly was the big one. It was me, Rachel, and Brian, and we wanted to go to Philly, but the three of us like we're not sure. So we reached out Daniel Carlson. He flew in. He stayed with us. Nate flew in and stayed with us. Rhonda Hollywood and man, I'm blanked on the name. Dawn. Dawn drove down and they stayed with us. So it was cool. Like if it wasn't for everyone coming together, folks that we've met from events, we probably wouldn't have made Philly.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
everyone coming together from out of state made it possible. And it's such a cool thing. Growing up, if you had told me I've been doing this at this age, I would have told you were crazy.
Roller skating and slumber parties. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy, but for me, I mean, it's a must. It's a need. It does something for me that I don't know, that I wasn't really able to access or find any other kind of way, you know?
Yeah.
So do you guys, for you, like just for you yourself, what's like, do you have like a must do event every year? Is there like one that you just have to go to?
I really like the Memorial Day and Labor Day ones, Skate Reflections. It's a vibe.
Yeah.
Something about it. I will do Atlanta, and I'm not a fan of Atlanta, but I will do Atlanta.
Yeah.
Everyone else likes Atlanta, so I go.
Yeah, I go because of the people. You know what
right.
I mean?
That's the reason I go.
Yeah.
I think Atlanta got. And this is personal opinion. This is not indicative of the 850 crew. So I think Atlanta got real
views
big, real fast.
Here are not necessarily the views of the 850. Okay.
Right. So personally, I think Atlanta got real big, real fast. So unless you were super duper confident, and even me, like it got really busy and it was really fast. So trying to get on and off the floor was a big thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I can go. Once you're on the floor, you might as well stay on the floor because once you get off, you're going to catch hell trying to get back on.
Yep.
So, but I'll always go. If they want to go, I will gladly go.
Yeah. It's an experience.
It's definitely.
Yeah. And the thing is that, yeah, I as far as getting too big too fast, like, see, the reason that it, like, Skate Reflections, that at the end of the day, there's a lot of that same mentality that you have at like a USA event where people want to fly, but Reflections is big enough to accommodate that, plus, you know, a nice middle lane to, you know, do whatever or kind of break away for a second, you know, big enough to have gaps where you can kind of, like, you're not literally like dodging 90-mile-an-hour traffic just to, you know, get off or on the floor. You know, I always tell people, you know, like, okay, I'm going to, from that, like, you know, Hiram or something like that. Like, okay, I'm about to go on the floor. Do I got to go to the bathroom? Do I need a drink? You know what I mean? Cause I'm going to be out there for a minute, you know? I mean, I literally, like, I had fractured my ankle like a month and a half the first time I ever went to USA. And I tested, like, I said, well, it was the first time I was going to go, and I had plans. So I really wanted to heal up. I was really disappointed that it was going to maybe affect that, but I didn't even want to try to skate beforehand, because I was like, well, if something's going to happen, I'd rather it just happen there where I've had at least I got a couple laps in, kind of a thing. But like, it's kind of a sketchy situation to go test your healed up fractured ankle at. You know what I mean? They move, man. And I've seen some nasty falls, dude. Like,
and going from that to where we are, it always seems every event, unfortunately, somebody gets hurt.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but you're like, you just hope it's not you.
Yeah.
You be there for whoever it is, but just pray it's not you.
Yeah. And I think that and the thing is that, look, you know, that is the event that's like that. And here's the thing. I know people sometimes get a little like, oh, you know, it doesn't have to, like, be this fast and that and the other thing. And I'm like, well, you know, okay, that's cool. But look, this is like the one thing, right? This is the one thing. Everyone knows what's going on there, right? Like, I can't go, like, to a hockey game and expect to see water polo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so it's kind of like, look, there are how many events, how many rinks, you know, like, you know, and from what I know, USA wasn't always necessarily about that, like, but it is now. That's what it's evolved into.
It is now.
That's what people want to do there, the majority, right? So, you know, it is what it is, you know, and it's just, for me, it's just an experience. Like, that environment, like that exact environment could not be like my weekly home rink. You know what I mean? No way. They'd probably be dead, you know, because it's just a matter of time, you know, but it's an experience, you know.
It is very much so.
I love Reflections, though. I love that place.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys have any events where you're at?
We do. They're not quite as often as we would like. We usually do like some summer send-offs. We did one a couple years back. We finally got to stay in our home, and it was a Friday, Saturday night at our rink. So we piled as many people as we could into our house. Like, if you want to come skate, please. Like, it may be a couch, it may be an air mattress, but y'all, everyone's welcome. If you want to come skate, whatever we need to do, we'll make it happen.
I got to get on that list.
But all means, extra bedrooms. Rachel has extra bedrooms. Brian has extra bedrooms. Whatever you need. If there's anything here, more than welcome. For sure.
Appreciate that. Although, even though I just put you on the spot in front of all these people.
Skate family's family.
No, man, I appreciate it. So you do have events, but they're is it like kind of one night events kind of thing? Or?
No, the big events we have is usually the summer send off, and like I said, it started 2 nights here and 1 night in Pensacola because he owns both the rinks. I believe Bobby owns like 5 rinks.
Okay.
In this down here, but now because Dreamland is the bigger of the rinks, it's all kind of shifted over there, which is still about 2 hours from us. And then we try to do adult nights. We get adult nights every quarter here, just because the adult skate population here isn't what it needs to be.
Yeah.
They used to do it once a month, and the very first one we did was packed out, and it was great. Like, man, if we could keep this would be awesome. And then it just slowly fell off, and it just wasn't feasible to keep it going monthly.
So where you're at, because people they think, Florida area, you know what I mean, and they automatically have like kind of this idea of like what the skating is, right? Because they think of Reflections, they think of Astro, they think of Miami, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the vibe there musically, like for you guys? Like, what are you guys rolling to?
Old and new. We try to shuffle as much as we can. It's always been a shuffle type thing here. Never really. We don't have a JB crowd. We don't have like a spin crowd. So all the kids, they watch us, and we're jump in line. We'll teach you what we can. Mm-hmm. I'm not so good at teaching.
Me either.
I catch. They laugh at me. They call it the Holy Ghost. I catch. The music just moves me, and I'll go, and I'll either leave or I'll throw everyone off. I'll throw a footwork in, and it just throws everybody. Like, don't follow me. Stay on beat. Like, I'll come back to the beat.
Yeah.
Just y'all stay there.
Yeah.
So, but it's always shuffle, and it's been nice. A lot of the older stuff. We went down for Tampa for Debbie Deb. I grew up on a lot of Debbie Deb and Stevie B.
Okay, so your freestyle music is there.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, then it is everywhere in Florida. That is the vibe everywhere. All right. What now? Wait a minute. Now I don't know if you can get. I don't even know what you were about to say when we first before we started recording. But I said, "Hey, hold on to that. And I don't even know if you can get into it or whatever. But it sounded like it could be a potentially interesting story.
It is an interesting story.
So
it is.
Yeah. What you were just at an event and something happened?
Yeah, we were at the Dothan Shuffle Down.
Okay.
Shout out Jason and Deb. They great people. Always go above and beyond for the skaters there.
Okay.
At Fun Zone.
All right.
Also, these views are not indicative of the skate crew. These are solely my. It seemed some of the locals. It's kind of it swaps. It seems between JB and Shuffle.
Okay.
Depending on the night.
Mm-hmm.
And the JB and the Shuffle don't mesh sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of comes down. It was labeled as a shuffle event.
Okay. So
by all means, even if you don't shuffle, please come skate. We want you there. We want you skating.
Yeah.
But it's a shuffle event. So it kind of gets into a respect thing. Like, we wouldn't show up at a JB event blazing the outside and be the problem.
Yeah.
Not saying that they were the problem, but we wouldn't show up at a JB event, shuffle, speed skating, and cause a disturbance.
Okay.
It was labeled as a shuffle event. If you want to come skate, know the lanes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's all it came down to. There was a couple misunderstandings. And I was a little more vocal with if there's a problem, please come talk to me. Like, I will talk with anyone.
Yeah.
I can be a little hot-headed sometimes, but I'm always down to listen. If you problem with me, if I did something on the floor that offended you, hey man, can we talk for a second? By all means, come get me.
Yeah.
Let's figure this out. And some people are not as receptive as others.
Okay. But no real drama. It was all good in the end for the most part.
It was all good in the end. Yeah. It all came out in the wash. Everyone kind of just learning where everyone kind of is.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell you what, and this is why I love Tito T. Okay. DJ Tito T up here. Did you ever get to go to Roller Jam before it closed?
I did not.
Okay. So, you understand, you skated long enough. you've been to enough sessions where, you know, there's definitely rinks you go to, and like, especially at a normal session, you know, for example, like you might go somewhere and there is a certain number of styles represented in the rink that night, right? So you get some JB guys and JB people over here. You got shuffle people, you got jam people, right? Whatever. And as throughout the course of a night, just because DJs play sets, you know what I mean? Those different styles get like they're more prevalent on the floor at certain times than others, right? Like there's a spot during the night where like it's like real JB vibe, and then there's time during the night where it's a real shuffle vibe, and you know, that whole thing. So what Tito T did, and I don't know, like, I mean, all respect to this is the only place I've ever seen this, is that you'd go to this rink and it's smaller than probably any rink you've ever been to. Okay. It's tiny. It's a nightclub. There's a bar. Okay. It's in Staten Island. And and it is just in a lot of situations, kind of almost shoulder to shoulder. And like every single style is there, but all night. It's not like, oh, this point of the night it's kind of like a shuffle thing, and this point of the night it's a jam thing. All night long, every single style is fully represented on that floor, and there is no issue as far as traffic jams go.
And that's how it should be.
It's how it should be. And but the thing is I think a lot of it has to do with the DJ. I think that it happened that like, there was a certain, like there's no reason that it could work at a place that's like smaller than most rinks ever with alcohol flowing, and it can't work at a rink 3 times the size. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't know what it was, man. That place was magic, dude. It was magic.
See, we were lucky that we had jams and mayhem that weekend. But also, my opinions, sunglasses and headphones have no places on the skate floor.
Yeah.
So
in a dark rink, especially, I mean, sunglasses is just.
Yes. So it seemed most of the problems we had, everyone had headphones on. Like, man, if you keep an ear out, keep some kind of listen to any announcements.
Yeah.
And it would. I feel like it would kind of cut down on some of the miscommunication.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do
you ever go to those silent skates?
I've never been to a silent skate.
I have no interest. Well, no, I can't say that. I showed up at one time. It was already had already started when I walked in. It was the most awkward thing in the world, right? Because you walk in and it's just this like floor of skaters,
quiet,
and everyone moving like to a different thing, and like and it just looks like crazy people, right? Because there's no you can't hear any music, right? So it just looks like really crazy. But then like I get out there and it's like, here's the funny thing. When I go to a rink, like I said, another reason I loved Roller Jam, one of the best sound systems ever. I love Skate Reflections, incredible sound system, Skate 47 in Jersey. Because I love to be enveloped in music. I don't want to hear anyone's wheels. I don't want to hear anything. I love it, but I can't wear headphones. I can't wear AirPods. One, I've never been able to. I tried with AirPods before. Like the way I skate, it'll end up, I'll whip them out at some point. It just doesn't work. But yeah, I feel so restricted like that. I don't know if that makes any sense to you.
No, I like to be aware of what's going on around me.
Yeah, that's another thing.
And so usually I don't like skating behind a whole lot of people. And it's not an ego thing. I like being up front. If something happens, I want to be up front. I want to be able to get out of dodge.
Yeah.
And we've started hand signals. Whoever's in the front, whatever way we're going, we'll try to point which way we're going, try to let some folks in the boat back know where we're going to be. Yeah. But I like to be aware of what's going on around me. I feel like headphones I would be more in the music than I would be present into what's going on.
Yeah. And then I also feel disconnected, like too, from people, just from the vibe standpoint. Right. It's kind of weird to look over and like, cause I'm skating to one thing and then someone over here is skating to another thing. And I don't know, there's a weird kind of like connection that even if even if we're not skating together per se,
Mhm.
everyone kind of vibing the same. I don't know. And look, and I'm not saying that silent skate shouldn't exist. I'm not at all. It's just not my bag. That's all. You know what I mean?
No, it's definitely different.
Yeah.
But the vibe, the energy is a big thing.
Yeah. Well, so what? So do you have any bucket list rinks? Is there a place that you haven't gone to that you just absolutely want to get to?
Nothing official.
No.
I do want to start traveling a little more. A lot of my northern skate fam I don't get to see, so that's part of the reason we get to go to Atlanta, because a lot of it's about the halfway point, it seems.
Yeah.
So you get to see all your northern friends. Anything up north, I wouldn't mind trying to get to. Out west, Abilene, and then we were in Colorado. I forget what rink it was.
The Dan Carlson's event.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
That's about as far as I've been that away.
It's pretty far.
But other than that, it's all been southeast.
Yeah.
But up north, out west, I wouldn't mind just checking rinks off.
Yeah. I definitely want to get to Daniel Carlson's event. I mean, especially because that dude like supports every event, man. He's everywhere.
He does.
He travels further than pretty much 99% of like the shuffle event community, and he's just always there. He always supports the Philly events. He's going to come up. He's going to come to the Skate Like No Breaks event that we're doing this fall. So I absolutely have to get out there, and I just want to experience Colorado. I really want to. I was amazed when he told me there's an adult night every night of the week where he's at different rinks.
Right.
I had no idea it was deep like that.
I didn't either. It was different. The altitude is definitely something.
Did it? Okay. So did it have an impact?
A little bit, yeah. I was a little more short-winded than I would have cared to admit.
Okay.
But we went to some sports store. It's like Academy, but more local up there. And they had the canned air,
Yeah.
which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
But we had a few folks, they called it altitude sickness. I had no idea that was a thing.
Yep.
But they bought that canned air and a couple of those, and they were back to normal. So something to be aware of, but
yeah, you
just push yourself through it.
Yeah. Who was I just talking to? Someone else that's from that area. But they were saying, it's a real thing. But they were also saying, like, even though it's like it's a breathing thing for most people, right? Like it's a cardiovascular thing that basically it's maintaining like even a higher level. Like even if you increase your hydration, like when you skate normally, to even increase it more than you normally increase it, like basically like it's all about hydration with that elevation stuff, which I was
hydrate.
Yeah.
Control your breathing.
Yeah.
I luckily I was on the cross country team in high school, so I kept a lot of stamina throughout the years. It definitely helps, but you could tell a difference when you were up there.
Did you cramp up at all more than normal?
I didn't. Yeah. I try to keep vitamin C, either banana, either before or after skating, stretch out, and try to battle as much as we can.
Yeah, man. I can tell you right now that there are. So I'll go I'll have like a real good run of like maintaining, really good hydration, especially when I'm skating real hard for a little while, right? Like I'm talking Pedialyte, bananas, like the whole nine, right? And then like I just kind of like forget or get wayward, right? And and then I'll like wake up in the middle of the night, just my shins or my quads or something like that, right? Just going nuts. And then and then I'm like, okay, and then I get back on that kick again. Like too many Red Bulls, too much coffee, not enough water, that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like
not enough water, not enough sleep.
Oh man,
you're always go.
Yeah. The Philly thing, it's so crazy because we just had the tri rink, and I try and I'm explaining to people, because most of the people I skate with, everyone think like a lot of people think I'm a Philly guy, and I'm not. Philly is like a 3-hour round trip for me, right? Wow. So like, and everyone that I skate, like OG Skate Crew, a lot of people that help with the events here, like the Philly Fall Skate Bash or like the Tri Rink, they're all like within 40 minutes or 30 minutes of Philly, right? And so, like, you know, and these events go 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. You know what I'm saying? And I still got to go home. So it's crazy that like my local event, I drive more and I get more wiped out than any like long distance trip that I take. You know what I'm saying? Like okay, we're at Reflections till 3 a.m., but I got a 10-minute drive to the hotel. You know what I'm saying? And I can sleep all day versus, you know, but dude, I was beat after this past weekend.
I can't sleep in. I'm usually one of the first ones. No matter what time we get home from the rink, I can't sleep in. I've been getting up early for so long.
Programmed.
So 7, 8 o'clock tops. No matter what time we get home, that's the latest I'll sleep in.
Oh, yeah.
Coffee and donut first thing in the morning. Yeah. And then I want to be on the move. Yeah. I want to do something. If I'm not at home, I want to be doing something.
Oh, dude, if I slept till 9 a.m., I'd wake up and be like, where'd the day go? Oh my God. You know what I mean? Because I just can't do it anymore. It's so funny too. Because you know, during the week, right? Obviously it's so much harder to get up, you know, for work. But then like in the weekend, I'm up before my normal weekday alarm would even go off. And I am just ready to go. You know what I mean? That's because it's my shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm on my thing, you know?
Every weekend, I'm usually up about the same time, alarm or no alarm. Yep. Get up, let the dogs out. And I'm like, all right, well, let's find something to do. So I'll get something going in the house. I'll wash the car. I'll find something. I can't sit around. Always got to be on the move.
Yeah, man. I'd go nuts. Yeah. All right, man. Well, hey, man, we've done like an hour and 20 so far, man. Was there anything that you want to throw out there? Anything you wanted to say? Anything you wanted to plug, promote, shout out, whatever, man? It's all you.
No.
No?
Humble. Come skate. Come skate. Yeah, that's all it boils down to.
Yeah, man.
If there's a rink close to you, if there's an event close to you, get out there, skate.
Yeah. Yeah, Logan or Billy will try and fight you. I promise.
Nope. Cool heads, man. Cool heads, man. Logan, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you,
man. This was fun, dude. This was fun.
It was. A little nervous.
It's all good.
But we did it.
Yeah, man. We got through it.
I had a good time.
Yeah,
I had a good time.
Yeah, man. Look, I like this because I love like a lot of these episodes. I love when they kind of vary and they just are different. You know what I mean? I never know what to expect. And this was great. This is perfect. So, all right, man. Mm-hmm. Well, again, I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Yes, appreciate it.
All right. And hopefully see you soon, buddy.
Hopefully Memorial Day?
Memorial Day. I'm trying.
Me too.
All right, man.
So hopefully.
All right, dude. Have a good night,
all right,
Logan.
buddy. You too.
All right, see you.